Hello, friends. Welcome back to AFRISPECTIVE, the youth perspective on everything Africa. So my name is Oluwayemisi O. People lovingly call me Yemi. And today I'm here with...
Mo. They call me Mo. But my name is Musah. That was a really powerful bong.
Yeah, I thought we should start off strong, you know, get people excited.
I really appreciate that. That was great.
For sure. So the first thing I want to talk about today is South Sudan. So basically, in a move to stop independent media, the government used the South Sudan National Security Service, which is also known as NSS, to stop all independent media from corresponding with their readers and with the whole country about what was really happening in the depths of government. So one of the newspapers that they shut down, which was widely read, is called The Citizen. Yeah, The Citizen, like, first of all, they just chose such an excellent name, because it feels like they care about, like, if I was there.
I talked to the editor-in-chief of The Citizen, Nihal Bol, who had his, you know, his newspaper shut down.
Yeah.
And he basically was very just angry about, you know, the fact that I asked him, you know, is there freedom of speech in South Sudan? And he basically said, no way. And exactly, like, and it's the same in countries like Eritrea, Ethiopia, and countries all over Eastern Africa.
For sure.
And he was really angry about basically the fact that, you know, the government has shut down his newspaper, and he's saying that he was also saying that he wanted to kill. Or not kill, die for his country.
Okay, all right. That's a good distinction.
I gotta make that distinction. He wanted to die for his country to preserve the media and preserve the voices of the people that aren't really getting heard. And I asked him, like, what's the future for South Sudan? And, like, in terms of, like, finding, you know, a peaceful agreement, you know, a peaceful, you know, resolution to this civil war. And basically he was like, I'll just give you an example of my company, which employs about 80 children, gives them $25 a day, and that's the highest pay that you can get in South Sudan. So it's not about, you know, the personalities or what he wanted, you know, in terms of, like, who he wanted to be in power. It's about, like, making sure that, like, you know, the people who are running the country are running an actual, like, do you deserve to be a dictator? And, like, that's...
So I think to give people some background, so Mr. Bol claims that one of the reasons they shut his newspaper down for the time being, it will probably be extended for the next couple months, maybe even a couple years, was because he ran an article that complained about the peace agreements signed by the government. So the government of South Sudan didn't want to sign a draft peace agreement because they're just benefiting from the civil war that's been raging in the country for a few years. And then he also ran an article that complained about the incumbent government not really wanting to listen to opposition parties who also complained about the peace talks. So basically everything he was doing was a little bit, well, it was dissent to the government that was in power. And so what they wanted to do is just basically abolish everyone who has a difference of opinion.
Yeah, no, it's very maddening to hear that, you know, something that is supposed to be news in the country like South Sudan, it's not even, like, you know, blasting, you know, the power. Yeah,
nobody knows.
Nobody's being blasted or anything like that. But you know, the fact that an important negotiation like this is, you know, being suppressed is, you know, it's very maddening, and it doesn't make any sense.
Bol said that there's absolutely no rule of law in his country, which is ridiculous, and that if for some reason people have committed a crime, that they should be taken to court and the correct processes should be followed, but that hasn't been happening. But I think what I'm excited for is that August 17th, which is coming up, it's going to be, I think, the week after next, just right around the corner, is the deadline for Sudan to stop the raging civil war. So we'll see what actions they take, what happens, if there's going to be a scramble of all these different powers coming together to fulfill the agreement they have to stop their war.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Let's move on to the Ghanaian doctoral strike. You know, a bunch of doctors in Ghana for the past 2 weeks have been striking over poor working conditions and poor compensation for themselves, and in many cases, no compensations for the nurses that work with them.
Nurses always get the dag.
Yeah.
And everything I've ever heard, like, it's always nurses that have to go on strike to fight for the rights they should already have, or they're just not cared about, but they're the ones, I mean, second to doctors, or maybe even before doctors, that put in the most hours, that know the patients, that take care of them. So.
Yeah, so for more than a week, state-run hospitals have desisted from any emergency work. So like they have like completely taken themselves out of care for people. And it's a very sad situation because for every 1,000 people in Ghana, there is 900th of a doctor available.
Wow.
So there's not many doctors, and you know, it's a very difficult situation because at the same time, you know, like the President Mahama, you know, he basically said that the government will not be able to pay any of
the doctors
of the doctors whatsoever because they don't
do
want
crucial
to
work.
Yeah, no, I mean, but they don't want to get outside of the budget.
Okay.
Spend outside of the budget, which is, you know,
I
it's
mean,
pretty.
it doesn't make sense to me, but I'm sure they've maybe thought about it, done some budget allocation.
Yeah. So he said what he said was he wanted to stick to the single spine payment method, and that's basically. We like a way for, you know, salaries, government salaries to be consistent throughout the year, and you know, it's very annoying to see that, you know, the most important people in our society are not being valued. You know, I'm sure you could see this with teachers all over. In Nigeria, teachers are always striking. So. You know, it's an interesting situation that we need to keep. I mean, these hospitals aren't being fully closed. The the heads of the hospitals, the managers of the hospitals, who are doctors, are still tending to patients. But as you would imagine, you know, these patients definitely aren't getting the care that they need.
Yeah, I think probably what's necessary for a lot of African countries is just a reevaluation of the professions that they care about. So it's understood that public servants, senators, governors, ministers, like those are, and even the position of the president, those are important, but without truly taking into value and understanding what a teacher does, what a doctor does, what I don't know, a street cleaner does to sort of beautify the environment, there's definitely a big loss, which is what we're seeing. I mean, I hope that Ghana's death toll doesn't rise because of this, or that people are sort of just like flying, you know what I mean?
You know, and like I should, you know, make an there's an exception that should be made for northern doctors, because a lot of northern doctors, which, you know, as you know, it's a rural area in Ghana, and you know, those people are even more scarce. So a lot of them don't want to be in accord with the Ghanaian Medical Association's protests, but you know, so we should note that. But at the same time, you know, you have a point. We have to really like reevaluate our society and see who we should value. Should the farmers who like grow our food, should they be, you know, compensated more so that we can get, you know,
I mean, whatever single spine theorem you just said, like single spine theorem when there's going to be no spines to take care of, who are the citizens?
Because the GMOs are going to be destroying our bodies.
If I could have a conversation with the president of Ghana, I would definitely have a couple things to say, and would say that he needs to branch out with his approach, because it's good to like have a core way to do things, one spine, but you know, look at this body. My body is connected to the spine.
You know, you want to, like the spines are a very serious thing. He's been, you know, feeding his brother Ibrahim Muhammad's spine ever since he's become president. But that's another
thing. So I think what we should talk about is another group of professionals have actually stopped working, but this is on their sorry, that was the Ghana story. That was on their own volition, the doctors that stopped working. But something that seems to be good news is that Walmart might be coming to Lagos. So this week, Governor Akinwumi Ambode of Lagos State met with a couple of, I guess, regional managers of people from Walmart, which is like a Walmart delegation of the incorporated corporation, if that makes sense. So
Walmart
just like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
basically Walmart Inc. And he met with them to talk about possible plans that seem to be becoming a reality of bringing this U.S. chain to Nigeria.
Oh my God, the sky is falling. Walmart is coming to Nigeria. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Like, I don't know. It kind of makes me, it's icky because I've spent a lot of time in North Carolina, so I've been able to go to Walmart a lot, and
yeah,
like you get
Walmart's
what you need.
Decent. Well, yeah.
You get what you need.
Yep.
But how are the workers being treated?
No, for sure.
And what are
for
happening?
Sure.
What's happening to like businesses that are growing around that used to be around Walmart?
Okay. I mean, so Ambode's reasoning is that Walmart is going to create this environment for investors to want to funnel more money into Nigeria, and that it'll also create jobs for a lot of the youth that are unemployed right now. You know what I mean? So Walmart in Lagos will basically boost the economy and will beautify Lagos more so than...
Will it
I mean, those are...
will it boost the
I'm not saying this is what I believe.
Yeah.
I'm just saying Mr. Ambode has a couple thoughts and good feelings about this transaction.
Yeah, no, but you know, questions have to be asked. Just because Mr. Ambode is saying something,
Yeah, I think
doesn't mean it should be taken.
what you said is real, because I think one of the questions is that who or what population will Walmart serve?
Yeah.
So out of the 21 million people in Nigeria, 4 million are about middle class. They're probably the people who will be shopping at Walmart. But then that's only a small population or a small niche compared to like what the whole country.
Exactly.
Yeah, who the people are in the whole country.
Like a large part of the economy is very informal. So you know.
Street hawkers.
Yeah.
Let me get some suya.
Exactly. And what if
Let me get some dodo.
if Walmart starts selling suya? Dodo.
Yeah.
No, but if Walmart starts selling suya, what's gonna happen to the suya person? Like the suya lady that's right around the corner. Like what's gonna happen to her?
Yeah.
You know, so like, is Mr. Ambode taking for account what's going on with that? And like all of these, Walmart is notorious for finding a way to like making a price that's smaller than anything else.
Yeah.
For every single product.
I see.
So, you know, it's essential for
And the
us
other
to,
thing
like,
is
figure
that
out.
they definitely, a lot of their products are from China. So I think my question for Walmart and a lot of other people have been asking this is, will they invest in Nigeria?
Yes.
Invest in Nigeria's homegrown foods, invest in the businesses that are already established in Nigeria, and not just be importing from China, but see what's already established and what they could use that the citizens have already been doing.
Exactly. Is the meat from the suya gonna come from Nigeria? Is it gonna be a Chinese suya?
That's, yeah.
I
mean, maybe Chinese duck, maybe. Yeah, so one of the things that's been happening at Sahara this week is there's been sort of like this trending hashtag, if Walmart comes to Lagos.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been so fun just hearing what people have to say and coming up with different things ourselves. So I guess one of them are, if Walmart comes to Lagos, will they have a herbalist section for Lagos Babalawos? If Walmart comes to Lagos, will they sell cutlass for me to discipline my children? If Walmart comes to Lagos, will they sell weapons to the Nigerian military?
If Walmart comes to Lagos, will it come to Ghana?
Ooh.
I like that one.
That's, yeah.
I wonder who came up with that one.
Oh, yeah. I wonder. Very good question. Yeah. I'm sure you all out there can guess. You know what I mean? So I think the weapons question from that hashtag is actually really important because Buhari has recently declared that Nigeria will start a weapons factory. And that is actually very, very important because when Buhari went to his visit to the United States, he talked about how he was basically disgusted with the Leahy Law because it would stop the U.S. from giving weapons to Nigeria because of Nigeria's human rights abuses. But this means that we could start having our own machinery, you know, our own AKs, our own, I don't even know, tanks. like with the federal seal on it and everything.
It's surprising of Buhari to come up with this idea.
Yeah.
You know, I know that there's only one weapons factory in Nigeria, and that's in Kaduna.
Yep.
So I'm interested in seeing what the capacity of these weapons factories are going to be, and how we're going to like secure these weapon factories, make sure that, you know, they don't get into the wrong hands. So that'll be interesting.
Security will probably be very high for sure.
I hope so.
Yeah.
You hope so. But
yeah,
I think it's always a question when it comes to Boko Haram, a country where Boko Haram and Delta militants are running rampant.
But I think a domestic weapon factory is pretty great because it basically means self-efficiency. Like Nigeria will be able to provide for itself. It doesn't have to outreach to other countries. It doesn't have to be denied by other countries because of different situations. But we're basically, I mean, we're on the path to like a sustainable lifestyle or a sustainable security, I guess some people might say.
Yeah, I would agree to that. And like, it just, you know, I hope that Buhari like is able to implement this type of system in Nigeria that is like very administratively like smooth, an administration that runs like butter, so that, you know, we don't have so that we don't have like a system that can allow leakages in places where, but it's great that we have we're trying to be self-sufficient. Yeah. So I guess we can move on to
hit me with
Amici.
Yes,
I'll get you with Mr. Amici.
Okay.
So the PDP, opposition PDP, People's Democratic Party in Nigeria, in Rivers State, basically sent a press release talking about how Rotimi Amici's
steals money all the time.
Steals money all the time.
So excuse me, that's just,
oh my God. We're gonna
steals money
get into it on this one.
I think that's like a 4-word summary of what the press statement said.
No, it's just a bunch of allegations about money laundering.
That's true. Thank you for correcting.
Humongous numbers thrown out, like $757 million US reported on Christian Amanpour Live. You know, we've called CNN and they haven't confirmed this yet, but you know, it's interesting that, you know, the PDP chooses to put this out. For me, it's that a lot of these allegations, not just that one number you gave, but a lot of people are just coming in with these mass amounts of money concerning what Mr. Amici stole during his tenure as Rivers State governor. So it's, you know, it's one thing if you hear it from somebody, but then if a lot of people are saying different things, it's just something to be investigated and to be looked at. No, yeah, and you know, everyone talks, and everyone has enemies. So it's important for us to make sure that, you know, like we don't throw allegations at every single politician.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Because, you know, if we just like assume that all of them are evil, then we're going to continue to create evil politicians in the future. Okay. So
I see you on, you can,
So that's why.
But I mean, I think it's important for still people to know and be aware. So there are these allegations against Mr. Amici.
You know.
But we will see what comes out of our search.
The Integrity Group, a non-governmental organization, said that they actually sent a petition to Mr. Buhari and the EFCC. You know, to investigate over 70 billion naira stolen. Okay. You know, so like these are actual, you know, they're very strong allegations, and if they're true, he should be tried and put into, you know, some kind of custody to make an example. Like if President Buhari truly belongs to no one, or belongs to everyone and belongs to no one, which makes no sense. I don't know why everyone thinks that like. But we'll leave that alone. I don't want Mr. Buhari to come get me. But I think that, you know, it's important for us to make sure that, like, you know, we're trying people who are even, you know, who are the closest to Mr. Buhari, to the president. We need to make sure that we hold everyone accountable.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. So it's interesting because 2 other public officials that are trying to hold each other accountable is Sani, a senator, and Al-Rufai, a governor.
Yeah, so...
But just really quickly, we're just going to hit you with this one.
Yeah, we'll hit you really quickly. Basically, Shehu Sani, who's a senator in Kaduna, and Nasir Al-Rufai, the governor, have been squabbling. And Shehu Sani said in an interview recently that, you know, Nasir Al-Rufai is anti-human for not allowing beggars. And Nasir Al-Rufai basically doesn't allow beggars for security reasons. So he's making the point that, you know, Shehu Sani is an activist making a point that we should have human rights over whatever state rights we have. So I think it's really interesting that these two, like, anti-corruption governors are anti-corruption, like, political figures are squabbling over how they get the same thing done.
For sure.
And I think that it's important for them to, like, sort it out.
Sure. And I think it's important for you as viewers to look into the story more and see what you think, whose side you're on, are you neutral, and just investigate, because that's what we should do as citizens.
And read SaharaReporters.com.
Oh, most definitely. So thank you. Keep watching Sahara TV, and you'll see us later.
Bye.